Welcome to the sacred space where your body remembers what safety feels like. Breathe, soften, receive.
Take a breath. Notice your shoulders. Notice your jaw. Notice your hands. You don't have to change anything yet. Just notice. And let yourself arrive, not just into this podcast, but into yourself. Because before we talk about the nervous system regulation, and before we talk about chronic pain and healing, I want you to remember something. Your body is not broken. Your body is communicating. And here, we learn how to listen. Welcome to In the Sacred Space. I'm Dr. Nicha, and this is where science meets the sacred, where we learn how the nervous system works and why the body responds the way it does, and how we begin creating new experiences of safety, awareness, and connection. If you joined me for our last episode, we started with the first step in the sacred framework, safety. And we talked about one of the most important questions the nervous system is constantly asking. Am I safe? Because safety is the foundation. But once we begin creating moments of safety, the next step isn't fixing. The next step is noticing. Today, we're talking about awareness. Let's begin. Have you ever noticed your shoulders tense before you walk into a meeting? Your stomach tightens when a certain person's name comes across your phone. Your jaw clench, and you don't even realize you're doing it until your face starts to ache. Maybe you've had a long day. You finally get home. Someone asks you a simple question, and you snap. And almost immediately you think, where did that come from? Here's what's interesting. It probably didn't come nowhere. Your body may have been giving you information for hours, maybe days. You just hadn't consciously recognized the signals yet. Because your body often notices something before your conscious mind has words for it. Your breathing changes, your muscles brace, your heart rate shifts, your stomach tightens. You feel restless, or suddenly you feel exhausted. And then eventually the mind catches up and says, oh, I'm stressed. Oh, I'm overwhelmed, or I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm scared. Your body was already listening. The question is, were you listening to your body? As an orthopedic clinician, one of the most common questions I hear is, why does this keep happening? Why does my neck keep tightening? Why does my back keep flaring? Am I getting another headache? Why does my pain feel worse this week when nothing happened? And those are important questions. Sometimes the answer is structural. Sometimes it's biomechanical. Sometimes there is inflammation. And sometimes there is an injury. Sometimes there's an underlying medical condition that deserves proper investigation and treatment. Let me be very clear. Pain is real. Symptoms are real. And awareness is never a replacement for appropriate medical evaluation. But after spending years taking care of people in pain, I started noticing something. Sometimes there was another question hiding underneath the first one. Not only what happened, but what was happening before this? How were you sleeping? How had your workload looked? Were you eating consistently? Were you recovering? Had you been in conflict with someone? Were you feeling supported? Had you been anxious for days? Had you been holding your breath during your entire workday? Had your body been bracing? Long before the pain became loud enough to get your attention. Because the body exists in context. The nervous system exists in context. Pain exists in context. And sometimes the body whispers before it shouts. Awareness is learning to recognize the whisper. Today I want to teach you 3 things. First, why your brain and nervous system are constantly collecting information, even when you're not consciously paying attention. Second, why the body may give you subtle signals before symptoms become louder. And third, why awareness matters for neuroplasticity and nervous system change. Because healing doesn't always begin with doing more. Sometimes it begins with noticing what has been happening all along. Today's sacred science is this. Your brain is constantly interpreting information and making predictions. Your nervous system receives information from outside of you. What you see, what you hear, where you are, who you are with. And it also receives information from inside of you. Your heart rate, your breathing, muscle tension, temperature, pressure, fatigue, hunger, pain. The scientific term for sensing what's happening inside the body is interoception. Think of interoception as your brain's internal communication network. It's how you recognize, my heart is beating faster, my stomach feels tighter, my mouth is dry, I'm getting hungry, I'm holding my breath, I need to use the bathroom, I'm exhausted. Something inside of me has changed. But here's the fascinating part. We are not all equally aware of those signals. Some people are highly aware of every sensation, sometimes so aware that sensations themselves can become frightening. Other people have become extraordinarily good at ignoring their bodies. They work through hunger. They override exhaustion. They dismiss pain. They didn't notice that they were holding their breath. They didn't realize their shoulders have been elevated for 3 hours. They don't recognize anger until they're yelling. They don't recognize overwhelm until they're shutting down. And many people will tell me, Dr. Nicha, it suddenly happened. But sometimes, what just happened suddenly wasn't the body's response. It was your awareness of the response. The body may have been adapting for hours, days, sometimes longer. You simply notice when the volume became loud enough. That distinction matters. Because awareness creates information, and information creates an opportunity for choice. Imagine you walk into a room. Two people have just had an argument. Nobody tells you. Both quiet. Maybe one person says, "Everything is fine." But immediately, you feel something. You notice a facial expression, the tone of someone's voice, how they're sitting, the silence in the room. You might say, "I could feel the tension." Your brain is extraordinarily good at processing information. Much of that processing happens without you consciously sitting there and analyzing every detail. Your nervous system is receiving cues constantly. Cues from your environment, cues from your relationship, and cues from your own body. Sometimes your body responds before you consciously create a story about what you're experiencing. Think about seeing a car suddenly pull in front of you. Your foot may hit the brake. Your heart begins pounding. Your muscles tighten. And a second later you say, "Oh my God, that scared me." The body responded quickly. Then the conscious story arrived. Now take the same concept and make it quieter. A facial expression, a disappointed tone, walking into your workplace, seeing an email from your boss, looking at your bank account, a conversation with your partner, hearing your child call your name for the 20th time. Your nervous system is receiving information, and your body may shift. Jaw tightens, breath becomes shallow, your shoulders elevate, your stomach contracts. You begin moving faster, talking faster, thinking faster. Or maybe you go in the opposite direction. You feel heavy, numb, quiet, disconnected. You want to withdraw. This is why awareness is so important, because you can't respond compassionately to a signal you haven't recognized. And this affects men and women. It may look different. Some of us were taught to stay agreeable. Some of us were taught to stay strong. Some were taught to smile. Some were taught not to cry. Some were taught to work harder. Some were taught to never show fear. Some were taught that resting was lazy. And some were taught that asking for help was weakness. Different lesson, same result. We learn to override signals. And eventually, overriding becomes automatic. You stop asking yourself, "What am I feeling? What is happening in my body? And what do I need?" Instead, you just keep moving until the body gets louder, which brings us to our next truth. And this is something I want you to really hear. The loudest symptom may have not been the first signal. Sometimes the signal starts quietly. You're sleeping a little less. Your shoulders stay tense. Your breathing gets shallow. You're more irritable. You stop feeling hungry. Or you keep eating without really noticing hunger at all. You feel tired, but you can't slow down. That's the whisper. Then the volume increases. The headaches become more frequent. Your neck starts hurting. Your back flares. Your stomach feels unsettled. You can't concentrate. You're snapping at people. And then one day, the body shouts. A major pain flare. Complete exhaustion. A panic response. Emotional overwhelm, and you think, what happened to me? Sometimes the better question is, what has been building? Now, this does not mean every symptom is caused by stress, and it does not mean every pain flare is emotional, and it certainly does not mean you should ignore new or concerning symptoms. Pain is real. Medical evaluations matter. But the nervous system does not live separately from the body. Sleep matters, stress matters, breathing matters, muscle tension matters, recovery matters. The body adapts to what it repeatedly experiences, and sometimes we become so accustomed to carrying stress that stress simply feels normal. I've had patients tell me, I'm not stressed, and I'll ask, how are you sleeping? 4 hours. Are you eating regularly? No, not really. How much are you working? 60 hours. Are you caring for anyone? My kids and my mom. Oh, are you resting? I watch Netflix on Sunday and they'll say, I'm not stressed. Sometimes stress doesn't feel like panic. Sometimes stress feels like Tuesday. And this is where awareness becomes powerful. Because once you notice the pattern, you create a pause. Instead of immediately thinking, here we go again, my neck is getting worse, something is wrong, you may begin to notice, my neck is tightening. I've been sitting for 4 hours. I haven't eaten. My shoulders are elevated. I've been holding my breath. I've been under pressure all week. Now, that awareness doesn't guarantee the symptoms disappear, but it interrupts autopilot. And this is where neuroplasticity matters. The brain learns through repetition. If every sensation is followed by fear, the pattern gets practice. Sensation, fear, bracing, monitoring, more fear. Now, awareness creates space for a different pattern. Sensation, pause, notice, assess, respond. Maybe you breathe. Maybe you move. Maybe you rest. Maybe you ask for help. Maybe you recognize that you need medical care. Maybe you finally admit that something in your life is asking for attention. That is awareness. Not ignoring the body, not fearing the body, listening. Because every time you pause and respond differently, you give your nervous system new information. You are teaching the brain we can notice without immediately panicking. We can listen without judging. We can assess before assuming the worst. We can respond instead of automatically reacting. This is why awareness is the bridge between survival and regulation. You cannot intentionally regulate what you have not recognized. First, you notice. Then, you create space. And inside that space, change becomes possible. Let's practice, and remember, you do not have to fix anything. This is an awareness practice. Take a slow breath in through your nose and let the exhale be a little longer. Again, breathe in and breathe out. Now, notice your forehead. You don't have to relax it. Just notice. Your jaw. Are your teeth touching? Just notice. Your tongue, your throat, your shoulders. Where are they right now? Your chest. Notice your breath. Is it deep? Shallow? Fast? Slow? There's no correct answer. We're gathering information. Bring your awareness to your abdomen, your hips, your legs, your feet. Notice where your body feels open. Notice where your body feels guarded. Notice any area asking for your attention. And now, silently ask yourself, what has my body been trying to tell me this week? Don't force an answer. You may notice a sensation, thought, an emotion. You may notice nothing, and that's okay. Awareness is a practice. Take another breath and silently repeat, I am learning to listen. My body is communicating. I can meet my body with curiosity. I don't have to fix everything in this moment. I am listening now. Take one more slow breath and gently return. If today's conversation resonated with you, don't let the practice end here. Today's episode is paired with a sacred reflection called the Body Listening Reset. The sacred reflection is a musical, mantra-based practice designed to help reinforce what we learned today through rhythm, repetition, and intentional awareness. Because understanding creates awareness, practice creates change, and repetition helps strengthen the pathway your brain practices most often. This is neuroplasticity. The brain and the nervous system learn through repeated experience. So listen to the Body Listening Reset, not because one song magically changes your nervous system, but because healing is practice. And every intentional repetition gives the brain another opportunity to experience a different pattern. Pause, listen, notice, and return. You can find today's sacred reflection on your favorite streaming platform here on Spotify, also on YouTube. For more nervous system resources and guided practices, visit sacredspaceshealing.com. You can find today's Sacred Reflection on your favorite streaming platform, here on Spotify, right after this episode, or on YouTube. For more nervous system resources and guided practices, visit sacredspaceshealing.com. And if you're living with persistent pain and want to learn more about personalized support through the Sacred Reset Method, visit sacredresetmethod.com. Because your body deserves more than being fought. It deserves to be understood. Before you go, take one more breath. Notice what feels different. Maybe your shoulders are softer. Maybe your breathing is slower. Maybe nothing physically changed. Maybe you're simply noticing yourself. And sometimes that's where change begins. Remember, the goal was never to fight your body. The goal is to understand it. Because your body is not broken. Your body is communicating. And together, we're learning how to listen. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. Trust your body. Breathe deeply. Move slowly, intentionally, and come home to yourself. I'll meet you back here in the sacred space.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing yourself today. I'm Dr. Nicha, and I'll meet you back here in the sacred space. Until then, breathe, soften, receive.